Taurus demon is definitely another gatekeeping boss and yet another demon. He is a sensible step up in the difficulty from the Asylum demon. It is mostly thanks to this unique arena. We encountered the Taurus on a bridge leading to the Undead Parish. The bridge is very narrow, which isn't ideal for a boss fight with a big monster, especially by today's standards, where in Elden Ring or even in Dark Souls 3 the smallest boss arenas are still way bigger than this. But like I've said before, I'll only compare bosses backwards, to games that came earlier, so no comparing to games that came out after Dark Souls 1. You may think that Dark Souls 1 gives you too little space to fight this boss, but I mean, it's a bridge after all, the demon is guarding it. It makes perfect sense to put something that is wide enough to cover the whole width of the bridge. The arena is a challenge in itself. This was way more common in the older games than it is nowadays. The design feels very naturalistic. It isn't just an arena in which you fight a boss, it's a piece of an environment too. And besides, you don't even have to fight the damn thing on that bridge. You see, after you come in, Taurus demon doesn't immediately attack you. The fight begins after you reach about half the length of the bridge. Only then, he jumps off the tower. But there is another tower, the one you came out of. You can turn back and notice a somewhat hidden ladder, on top of which are archers. I mean dudes with crossbows, crossbowmen. They would start shooting at you should you run past the ladder, making the tight encounter even more difficult. This adds another depth to the fight, to the arena itself. Because of the crossbowmen, I can't help to see this boss as a far relative to the Tower Knight from Demon's Souls, but this time dealing with the crossbowmen isn't that annoying on subsequent attempts. I'll tell you why in a second. Now about the boss itself. The Hollow Soldiers are dealt with and the fight begins. When compared to the Asylum demon, his moveset is a bit broader, which is understandable, this isn't a tutorial anymore. He can perform 3 different attacks with his Great Axe: wide horizontal swing, quick stab to the ground if you stay too close to him, and a standard smash to the ground. This one has a lengthy build-up, so it can be effectively avoided by circle strafing this boss. If you get too far, he can quickly close the distance by jumping at you and at the same time smashing his axe into the ground. Yet this attack can be countered by simply running under him. I've said that you don't have to fight him on a tight bridge. If you climb the tower after the fight began, after some time the demon will jump up to you. There you'll have a little bit more space to dodge his attacks. This is why fighting those crossbowmen isn't as annoying as it was in Demon's Souls. There are only 2 of them, and if you kill them, you get an advantage in a fight. You get more space to fight this demon. Overall, I think it is a solid encounter. He is still on a more simplistic side, with not too fast attacks and well telegraphed moves. But combined with this unusual arena, he makes for a memorable early game encounter. After the fight is over, he drops 3000 souls, 1 humanity and 1 homeward bone. There is also a chance to receive his demon's Great Axe, but it's not guaranteed. And you can also farm this weapon later in Demon Ruins. When it comes to the tips, this boss is optional if you've picked the Master Key as your starting gift. You don't have to fight him at all. If you pick the Gold Pine Resin in one of the homes of the Undead Burg, it makes you deal absurd amount of damage to him. Don't fall off the bridge. Yes, you can do that, I've learned the hard way. If you lure him under the tower, you can perform a plunge attack. Just like with the Asylum demon, this time it also destroys a solid part of his health bar, and you could repeat it over and over. He can accidentally jump off the bridge too. It is a bit tricky, but by positioning yourself correctly and preferably having a decent shield, you can make him jump back at a certain angle and then he's just gone. Throwing him off the bridge can be done in more than one way though. My point is that there isn't any invincible wall that prevents you from doing that, which is great. If I can jump off by mistake, my opponent should be punished by that mistake as well. Sadly, most arenas in future games have invincible walls, making so the boss can never fall off the arena. Thank you for watching, to the next time.